Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
Growing concern as measles cases increase in Edmonton.
Measles is coming in and will spread quite quickly.
An unexpected loss of funds for one nonprofit leads a dedicated group to step in.
I can't really put into words just how much this money means to us. It came as a complete surprise.
And NAIT says goodbye to its friendliest employee.
You make just as much a difference to Flynn as Flynn does with you.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening, and welcome to NAIT NewsWatch. First tonight, according to a public health advisory, there have been confirmed cases of measles here in our city.
That's right. As per Alberta government, 13 cases of the virus have already been confirmed. Our Yana Alfaro joins us live from the hallways of NAIT with more.
Thanks, guys. Right now, we're in a measles alert here in Alberta. And according to NAIT Health Center, this virus is one of the most highly communicable infectious diseases with a greater than a 90% secondary attack rate among people who are susceptible, and it can spread through the air.
The city is experiencing a rapid spread of the measles virus, but lots of individuals are still unvaccinated.
Measles is the most common viral infection that spreads the easiest if it gets into that type of population. For many years, we haven't seen measles because people have been fully vaccinated. But with vaccine hesitancy and anti-vaxxers, we have a significant number of the population that have not been vaccinated, and measles is coming in and will spread quite quickly. And I believe we'll see much more measles in the next few months than we have in the past.
The provincial government's online measles tracker reports 2 additional confirmed cases of the virus in Alberta on Monday, with one in the Calgary area and another in Edmonton.
If a number of people in NAIT and at the U of A or wherever there is a large student body and in close contact, if measles is there and people haven't been vaccinated for measles, they will be susceptible, and we'll probably see some older people getting measles because of that.
Even international students who are far from their families are worried about their safety.
I'm concerned with my health because I'm an international student and I don't have any relatives.
I heard about it. I have concern about my safety.
Measles is making a return and it's highly contagious. So the best way to protect yourself and people around you is through vaccination. So if you haven't been vaccinated, now is the time to take that important step.
So the vaccinations is something called measles, mumps, rubella. So it immunizes you against all 3 of those, which is great. You get like a 3-in-1 combination vaccine. You can get it once you turn 1 year old. So once you turn a year old, you're able to get the vaccine, and there's 2 vaccines with it.
Alberta's publicly financed immunization program offers the measles-containing vaccine at no cost, or you can call your nearest pharmacy to schedule a vaccination appointment.
As per Alberta Health Services advice, you need to check your vaccination records to ensure that you are protected. And if you're uncertain of your immunization history, you can call HealthLink at 811 or your local public health office. And to receive more information about measles, just text measles to 88111.
So Yana, what actions could someone take if they've been exposed but haven't felt any symptoms?
Well, Sasha, if they aren't sure or they knew that they were exposed to someone with symptoms, they need to stay at home and avoid contact with others. And as per Alberta Health Services advice, they need to call HealthLink at 811 before visiting any healthcare facility or provider.
Yana, what age is appropriate for a measles vaccine?
Well, Logan, as stated by Alberta Health Services, children in Alberta typically receive their first dose of vaccine as early as 12 months and their second dose at 18 months of age. It is also recommended that adults receive their measles vaccination if they are traveling outside Canada or to areas within Canada where measles is currently spreading.
Thanks, Yana. That's our Yana Alfaro reporting live from the hallways of NAIT.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
An Edmonton not-for-profit support agency has been dealt a huge blow to its funding. However, an unexpected group is stepping in to show their support. The Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton has provided many Edmontonians with an important service for over 50 years. But recently, because of a government grant expiry, SACE has had to pause all intakes for their counseling services. So when the Canada One Auto Group caught wind, they knew they had to do something.
I can't really put into words just how much this money means to us. It came as a complete surprise. It's not common for us to receive donations of this magnitude. And, to see that a group of car dealers working with and under the umbrella of Canada One Auto was, wow.
A total of $85,000 was donated from 7 dealerships in an effort to help the nonprofit. It may seem only a drop in the bucket, but for SACE, knowing that people are willing to help and spread awareness is a big step forward.
If you're hoping to grab a piece of Canada's nostalgia at Hudson's Bay, you may not have much time left. Canada's first and oldest store could potentially be closing its doors for good. After 355 years in the retail business, Hudson's Bay is facing liquidation, owing nearly $1 billion to almost 2,000 different creditors. In an effort to avoid bankruptcy, the company filed for creditor protection. Now, over 9,000 jobs are at risk. Former Hudson's Bay employee Isabella Perry is sad to see her first job go and describes the store's closure as what could be a trend in the retail industry.
I think that this is just going to be a trend from now on. Big companies don't really last. They're getting lost to competition from Amazon and big retail companies that can do things directly. And just knowing that it doesn't exist and all the history that it leaves behind is going to be gone is really sad to me.
Hudson's Bay is preparing to close many or all of its 88 stores across Canada. The closure of these stores would mark the end of an era for the iconic Canadian retailer.
The Princess Theatre, one of the oldest buildings in Edmonton, has been empty since 2020. But now, it might be getting a second chance.
It's just like losing another chunk of the soul of old Strathcona.
The marquee above the entrance sits frozen in time, a reminder of days past when its sparkling lights lit up old Strathcona. Many businesses have risen and fallen here, but one Edmonton man sees the Princess as too important to lose. Business owners in the area say they have his back and they wish him luck.
It means something to him too, obviously. And maybe he was thinking the same thing. Maybe he walked by it one day and saw it all graffitied and emptied and depressed and just like, it's just like, this isn't right,
David Stupnikoff started a GoFundMe with the goal of raising $9.2 million to buy, revitalize, and reopen the Princess to the public, hoping to make it a hub for Edmonton's arts community. Anyone wanting to learn more about his project can search Bringing Back the Princess on GoFundMe.com.
NAIT students came together to bid a heartfelt farewell to a beloved furry friend.
I don't believe he's ever had a sick day.
After 12 years of providing comfort and support to students struggling with stress and anxiety, Flynn, an Australian Labradoodle and NAIT's assisting therapy dog, is retiring, leaving behind a lasting legacy after helping over 25,000 people. To show their appreciation, NAIT hosted a retirement party to celebrate Flynn's remarkable contributions and say thank you for his years of service.
It seems like when he has an interaction, people get different things out of Flynn, and they get what they need from him, but he also gets a bit off of them. So I think it's a real mutual exchange.
Flynn's owner Linda says we can look forward to seeing Flynn around NAIT as he plans on stopping by to visit. For our last question of the week, we asked you, what are you most excited about for spring?
That's right. And after looking through the responses, a winner has been chosen.
Thank you for your answer. To claim your prize, go to @the_NAIT_Nugget on Instagram.
Sasha, the summer equinox has started, and along the theme of ancient traditions, for this week's question of the week, do you have any rituals or superstitions that you adhere to?
Well, I've heard some interesting answers already, so we want to hear your thoughts. Head over to the Nuggets Instagram and join the conversation for a chance to win a great prize.
Coming up after the break, we take a look at a delicious yearly event here in Edmonton.
That's right. And our Ryan Weisner is joined by a four-legged friend to make a splash at the first ever indoor dog spray park.
Coming up in entertainment, we have food, and a bit more food. We'll meet NAIT's newest Hokanson chef in residence, Quentin Glavis, who talks a bit about the importance of wild rice and Indigenous ingredients in his cooking, and we'll learn a bit about Edmonton Dining Week. So stay tuned for tips on how to get your stomach filled.
I'm Katie Wallace. Is it time to swap your summer tires, or will winter pull one last surprise? I have your forecast coming up.
Welcome back. Now we take a look into the weather. Logan, when are you planning on swapping to your summer tires?
Well, with Alberta weather being Alberta weather, I'd say it's probably a safe bet to wait until after May long. But our Katie Wallace might have some good news regarding this weekend's weather. Here's to hoping the snow is gone for good.
Thanks, guys. With the first day of spring just behind us, Edmonton is finally ready to shake off its winter coat and say goodbye to all the snow. I, for one, cannot wait to swap out my winter tires, and I might be doing so sooner rather than later with this upcoming weather. Here's to hoping that summer is right around the corner. Speaking of brighter days, the Glow Festival is set up to light up Edmonton tomorrow night with dazzling lights, interactive displays, and music. Fingers are crossed for weather to make it a perfect night to be. So let's take a look at Fort McMurray. We have a morning low of -5 and a high of +6 in the afternoon, which has been better than what it has been in the past couple of weeks, so it's looking good. Up in Jasper, we have a low of -7 and a high of 6, but we've had 80 centimeters of snow in the last 2 weeks, so it's perfect skiing conditions. Then in Calgary, I want to take a little trip down to Calgary because it's -2 in the morning and a high of +7 in the afternoon, unlike Edmonton, which a 30% chance of morning flurries, which we love our Edmonton. What can we do, you know? We have a low of -3 and a high of 7 degrees. And then we have our averages on this day, a high of 3 degrees and a low of -6. And then the records on that day is going to be a high of 21 in 1889, you know, just a couple years ago. I think it's due time that we have that weather back again. And then a low of -27 in 1904, a year before Alberta became Alberta. Fun fact for you. With this weekend, I would wait a week or two to change those tires, but go check out the Flow Festival, stay safe, and have fun. This has been Katie Wallace with your weather.
NewsWatch Weather, sponsored by NR92, Campus Radio.
Thanks a lot, Katie. You know, after hearing about all that snow, I might need a hot drink.
Yeah, me too. Did you hear it's Dining and Cocktail Week downtown in our city? Our tailor Winnie Hughes will give us all the details. But first, we hear about some cooking a lot closer to campus.
Thanks, you two. The culinary program at NAIT welcomes their newest Hokanson chef in residence.
First thing we've done is we have our wild rice here.
Chef Quentin Glavis, a previous NAIT culinary grad, is the most recent addition to the list of Hokanson chefs in residence. His role is to bring his unique perspective to hands-on lessons and demonstrations to the culinary students for just a few days before returning to his home in Tokyo. Glavis is the first ever Indigenous Hokanson chef in residence and specializes in using Indigenous ingredients for cooking.
To me, Indigenous cuisine isn't just cooking with Indigenous ingredients, it's cultural, it's storytelling, for me, it's learning about my cultural background, but through cuisine, and that's a big thing.
Glavis teaches about the many different ways to use wild rice in cooking, from puffing it to flour to rice milk. According to Glavis, wild rice is gluten-free and is not considered wild rice if it is farmed. Glavis is available for one last 4-course dinner at Ernest tonight before his residency is finished. Spring has come in Edmonton, which means it's event season. This week there's an event about having an amazing dining experience downtown. Edmonton Downtown Dining Week is a yearly event that sees select restaurants serving multi-course meals at set prices. Over 60 downtown restaurants are participating this year. Downtown Dining Week is an initiative intended to benefit both businesses and customers by driving traffic to the downtown area.
It brings in tips, it brings in atmosphere, it brings in everybody, and it's really good because all of downtown's doing it as well. So then you can go to as many restaurants as you want for a cheaper price.
If you're looking for something to enjoy after dinner, or perhaps a little closer to home, select restaurants, bars, and liquor stores are participating in a sister event, Edmonton Cocktail Week. Both events run until March 23rd. I know I ate my fill this weekend and I have leftovers still, but I do try to go every year. Are you guys thinking about going this weekend?
Well, you know how much I love food, so I'll definitely be heading over there.
I mean, it sounds amazing, and it kind of seems like you're missing out if you don't go. So if I have time, I'll definitely make the drive down. Thanks so much, Taylor.
A brand new concept has arrived at the mall, and it's making a splash with local pet owners.
That's right. Fantasia blends water park fun with a doggy daycare. Our Ryan Weisner has more.
Hey, it's Ryan with NAIT NewsWatch. On today's Try This, we're heading to Fantasia, Canada's very first doggy daycare inside of a mall. Link's gonna take a break today, so he's gonna get all groomed up and check out the features of this place. Check it out.
Fantasia is the latest addition to West Edmonton Mall. It's the first of its kind in Western Canada to have a doggy daycare splash park in a mall. Through the doors, we find our first spot where Link can go around, sniff the area, and relieve himself if he has to. The next spot is a spray park. The water is completely safe to drink. Link was a little bit hesitant to get in there at first, but eventually he got used to it. Link having such little legs, he always wants to get to the highest point, so I let him run around a little bit onto the ramps and the obstacle courses. Then it was time to meet some friends. Oakley was a little bit shy, and we always seem to run into different corgis.
Well, it's the first of its kind, at least in Canada, so we've seen lots of people, coming in from out of town, and they have nowhere to put their dogs. They don't want to leave them in the hotel. So they can bring them here for a few hours while they go to the water park. I love when you have a shy dog, and then they finally get to bond with you. I really like that. It's really rewarding to see them finally come around.
You can drop your pup off for 2 hours, half day, or a full day. They also have grooming services and de-shedding. I thought it was a good idea for Link to get de-shedded. His winter coat is coming out, and it is getting everywhere. Who knew such a small dog could carry so much fur? And after he was done, it was time to head back to the lounge for a nice pup cone and to relax on the furniture.
Well, Link is about 10 pounds lighter with all the fur that he just lost. I'm Ryan Weisner. You and your dog should try this.
Wow, it looks like Link had a great time with Ryan. I'll have to take Pig there.
No, Logan, Fantasia is just for dogs. You can't take a pig there.
Oh, no. Pig's my dog. Just trust me on this.
Okay, I'll trust you. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this week's episode of NAIT NewsWatch.
And we'll see you next week.